going to be continuing our gas mask discussion and talking about the Avon C420. I'm pretty sure it's a weed joke they threw in there. Powered Air Purification Respirator, or PAPR, PAPR, however you want to pronounce it, is up to you. And it is a decent, significant upgrade to just your sort of standard gas mask, be it the C50 or the, well, it doesn't work with the M50. M50 you can swap out the mask on the fly, but we're going to talk about making your life in a contaminated zone just a little bit easier. So, for starters, you're generally going to have your normal filter thing going on. The main reason going is this is your standard military go-to, because you throw this in your gas mask bag that you use as a pillow every night. Slap bag that's on your waist, you're going on patrol. PFC up on point, he suddenly starts coughing and keels over. The sergeant behind him is like, oh, throws on his gas mask, turns to everyone and hits him with the gas. So you reach into your pouch, you throw on your gas mask, you can't really talk to anyone, so you turn on your voice box. And in this case, we have a 40 millimeter filter, correction, because we're not using our standard military ones. So, you're in the contaminated zone, you don't want to be there for too long. These filters can only deal with so much contamination before you gotta, peel back. Swap these ones out. M50 having a bit more staying power because you can alternate the filters, swap them on the go. This one you're gonna have to hold your breath and hope for the best, or pull back, but you don't want to be in the contaminated zone for too long anyway. The VA is not going to make it career related, is not going to connect the dots, is going to tell you 0%. Good luck, try again. So with that in mind, let's say we get out of the environment, we decon, and we're going to be going back in, but we're going to go in a little bit smarter and better prepared.
So with that in mind, the standard gas mask setup is relatively, I guess you would say, reactionary. You have it with you as a protective item. If things start going horrifically downhill, if there is a CBurn sort of like chemical attack, you can throw one of these on and significantly improve your protection. But let's say you're going to be going into the environment. I have a video I'm going to post at the end of this one. You're doing all your running about. This is putting a lot of strain and stress on your lungs. So we have a bit of a solution. And enter the PAPR C420, which is, I got two parts here. So for starters, you've got your main body, which is the blower unit. I've got one filter already on here, the other one's on the mask. This pops out, you put in another filter, and here's your output. So we're gonna pop this open real quick. You don't want to keep these caps on there so like spiders and stuff don't climb in. So when you do need it, and you plug it in and you turn it on, and suddenly you're getting spiders blown into your gas mask, it's not a great look, so. So up here you can actually see the little the fan blades and stuff in there, and that's pretty fantastic. So what this unit's going to do is it's going to give us not one filter, but two filters, which is pretty phenomenal, because that's going to give you significantly more room to breathe in. The reason these M50 has two filters is because it does make it easier to breathe, even if you can't shoulder your rifle. Lasers. Right, yeah, lasers. Although you're probably going to be pretty close to anything you're shooting anyway, so. What you can do is now we can plug a hose into this, and since it uses the NATO 40 millimeter canisters, this is generally going to be compatible with pretty much any gas mask that uses 40 millimeter canisters in the NATO variety. But we're going to be using it specifically with the C50 as it was designed. Now 50 and 40 is going to keep mixing me up, I know it. So as you can see here, we have a nice little on-off switch. No matter how many times I clean it, there's always gunk up in there. You gotta pop this guy out there, and you can see there's another filter, and there's a little seal to help make sure we're getting a good seal going. We have a battery compartment. There are two different types of caps. I got the other one in my bag over here. Yeah. So if you're using a one-time use disposable battery, you got this black cap. And if you're using the rechargeables, you got this green cap. And of course, you got the little rings on here to keep retention and everything going. And yeah, see, blower unit, Avon, pretty cool. This one's on a belt, because there's multiple ways to run this. I got two batteries with mine. They're both charged. So generally the easiest way to run this, in more of like your more hazmat environment, is it's very easy to mount onto your back, run the hose over your shoulder, and link that up to your gas mask. And it does take some getting used to. Reminds me when I was first trying to run my plate carrier and belt, and I'm not on the 6 foot tall Giga Chad side, a little bit on the Short King side, so the belt and the magazine would always bump up against the plate carrier. It was like, why even bother? But you put in the time, you find out a way to make it work, and you're rewarded for such with improved capability. So with that in mind, we're going to set this guy on up. So we're going to unscrew this one real quick, just so I can show you guys. We got 2 slots to mount in our filters. And since I don't have a extra filter at the moment, which is why the M50 is a bit more important, I need to get more filters at some point. We're going to pop this guy free. And yeah, I'm going to basically show you guys how to like set this up in different ways you can run it. So we're going to take my gas mask over here. We're going to free up this filter. Don't worry. Free up that filter. Gas. I don't have enough hands. I don't got enough hands. Set that down there. Run this up into here. It takes a bit of work. I didn't use C420. I had an M50. We were one of the first units to get them back in 2009. So we got our 2 filters in there. And this does start to get a little heavy. I think it gets up to like 7 or 8 pounds when it's fully loaded. It's mostly the filters and the battery. This is it's mostly just a fan. It might seem a bit silly. You can run this without the fan and just breathe in air from 2 filters, which makes life a bit easier. When you got the fan going and you're in full kit and you're running around in a toxic environment, you're gonna want the blower, brother. Trust me. We'll get to that momentarily. So we got this part sitting here. We got the belt on there. We can take that off relatively easy by undoing the strap and unfeeding it through. Feeds in through these 2 sort of sets here. I don't know what you'd call them. And obviously there's all these screw mounts. So clearly you can mount this to something really cool. I just have no idea what. Maybe like a hard point backpack or something. I don't know. I didn't get that far and it wasn't in the manual. Now the hose. As you can see, we have the hose screwed into itself, 40 millimeter to 40 millimeter. And I do have this custom cover. This is from Defense Mechanisms, I believe it is. It's on the back of the plate there. Let me check. As you can see, I'm well prepared for this video. Yeah, it's BDS. BDS Tactical makes all this stuff. I've actually managed to get this through one of the, I think the BDS website actually. So you can see I've got some Velcro through here. There are loops on here so you can mount it to stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much what we're going to be doing. Yeah, that looks about right. So, unscrew this real quick. And I'll show you. So this is the part that connects to the blower unit itself. Just screws on in there, sort of like normal, as if it were attaching to the gas mask. And then you got the actual part here, and this actually spins so you can attach it that way without having have too much problems. Words. And this is going to basically like sit up over here. I generally pull the bit of extra hose so I can look left and right, up and down. If you look a bit down too hard, it sucks. But if it's over here, facing directly back, I'm going to explain this all in detail, don't you worry. You can look left and right, but when you're looking right, there's a drag. When you're looking left, there's a push, and that could potentially hinder the seal of your mask. This is the part that takes getting used to. And of course, you could run it under your arm if you're a psychopath. This thing it doesn't look that impressive, but the hose will bump into the side of your arm. Also, you're going to be running a sling over it. There's a lot of things to bear in mind. So you take this hose, this hefty boy here, and you're going to basically screw it directly into there. And I already hear the more unhinged comments. They want to know if I can take this guy here. Where'd my gas mask go? I set it down a second ago. There it is. The unhinged comments will want to know, well, good night. Why even bother with the hose? Can't I just screw this directly into here? And you can. You shouldn't, but you can. So if you are completely unhinged, you can set your gas mask up as so. Can I even wear it? It's not designed for this, by the way.
But if you were truly insane, you can mount this directly to your face. Now that's 7 pounds on top of your gas mask. It's not going to be a good time.
But I hope I satiated your curiosity. I'm pretty sure no other YouTuber is going to be creative, we'll say, enough to test that out. But that's how that works. Now, there's a few benefits, key benefits, to having the PAPR outside of just, you know, being able to mount it to your mask. Since it is heavy, you got to mount it to your kit and it is connected by a hose. However, a single filter does add a good chunk of weight. So you're taking that weight off of your face and putting it onto your belt or your plate carrier or anywhere out of the way. And that's important because having that weight off your face is going to be less weight overall with your helmet and everything else you got going on. It's just going to make your life that little bit easier. The air blowing in is going to give you air as if you weren't in a contaminated environment. Like standing in front of a fan, the air wants to enter your lungs, which makes breathing a lot easier, as opposed to the strain of pulling air through the filters. Now, like I said, you can run this without a battery, and it is easier to breathe, but it's not perfect. You're breathing at like 70-80% when you could be breathing at 110. So real quick, before we plug in the hose and everything, where's my, there's my spare battery. I got 2 batteries lying around. So your batteries, this is the rechargeable one, Immediate Response Technologies. And yeah, you can just charge this through the little charging port. They generally come with chargers, little 3-prong sort of setup thing going on there. So the battery, we're gonna unscrew our cap here. And we're going to insert the battery. Pretty sure it goes this way. I never remember, but we're gonna hope for the best. And yeah, one of these days I'll write it down like on the battery. So now the retention lanyard is a bit short, so it does sort of make this difficult. But once you got it in there, we'll give it a little test run. And if you hear air, you did it right. So we got our filters in, and you know there's fans in there. So this thing, it's not crazy loud, but it is something to bear in mind. It does have a long wind down. You turn it on, it's blowing air. It's not intended to keep you cool in the summer, but it can. So that's about as loud as it runs. Cool, cool. And yeah, like I said, you can swap this out pretty easily. So that's our blower unit set up. Nice and ready for action. We're gonna take our hose down here. And the hose, you wouldn't think it'd have some weight to it, but it's a little heavy. So we're gonna screw this on here. This is all stuff that you'd want to sit down at a table to do. As a professional YouTuber, I'm just going to do it standing. I'm going to screw this way because it's just easier. There we go. Hose is connected. So what we're going to do is we're going to mount this on my back. I have this set up, so it's only got that one piece of Velcro there, so that's how I unhose it. This one, lots of extra material designed for a more heavy set. We'll call them muscular, big muscle people. Set this up on our waist. Bam, just like so. Speaking of heavy set, I gotta go run again. I gotta go running after this. I took a small break from running and like immediately started getting fat, so. Bam, we got our setup like so. Now the hose is a bit long. There's nothing I can do about that, which is why I was daily saying I run it like this. Because the alternative is to try to run it like this. It's gonna be hitting the outside of my arm. And I can't ignore it as well as I should. So we're going to take the hose here. And what you want to do is install it to the gas mask before you put it on. How do I know? Guess what I tried to do? Put it on when it was already on my face. You can't see nothing and it sucks. It sucks so much. And this is also why this is why it's not reactionary. This is like premeditated. We're going into the contamination. I'm going to have all of my stuff ready because I'm not catching the T-virus and turning into a zombie. Hopefully. At least not from air exposure. So you set this up here, throw that on there.
You turn it on, and you can hear I'm actually breathing a bit easier. This is the tricky part. There we go. I don't have anything to like hook it directly to my shoulder. On the plate carrier, I do have access to my freaking shoulder straps, and I can use that Velcro I got on there to mount it to that. And as you can see, I can look left, right. Let's tighten that down a bit. I want to break the seal. That doesn't do nothing no more. So of course I can also cover the 2 fronts and make sure I got a positive seal. I'm not going to be getting any contaminant in. It's not first going through the filters, and then I should just be getting clean air. Now we turn the fans on. Where's my switch? There it is. And now it's practically blowing air on my face. It's kind of like being directly in front front of a fan, the fan's blowing directly on you, and it's just easier to breathe. There's a hyperabundance of air. I think it's like 120 liters or something a minute, and that's a lot of air. So when you're not breathing, it's all just venting out of the faceplate, out of the front, everywhere. Just, not really causing a problem. And I'll show you in the video I'll link at the end. When you're out running, this makes all of the difference. You can cleanly talk. If I've got my squad mate over there, I can even plug in my radio and be talking to him. No difficulty breathing. No, nothing, no like crazy asthmatic feelings, no need to hurl. If I gotta start doing exercise or anything crazy, I'm not gonna have to be like, I gotta keep running. No, I can just keep going the whole time. It's no problem whatsoever, as opposed to the single filter. Which is why if we're gonna be very active, this is a smart thing to have. It also, taking the weight off, puts it all back here, makes life easy. That's pretty fantastic. So, yeah, very cool. We just turn that fan off. It does, the voice amplifier doesn't really like it, but you can work with it. I could have my radio plugged in and over there and just be radiant to you guys, but you get the idea. As you can tell, this is freaking out a bit less, which is nice. This is all good. So next up, we're going to talk about a few alternative ways to sort of like run this thing. So we're going to turn this off real quick.
Yeah, I'm going to pop that free. So I generally hold my mask like this when I'm not using it, like in between me and my buddy running around and doing stuff. So, actually, do I get the Velcro? I think that's in the right spot. Yeah, that looks about right. So we got it set up down here. Pretty nice. Not bad. Not bad. Now let me unscrew it real quick. We'll screw it back in once it's set back up. I'll show you guys. Ugh. So there's a few alternative ways. Generally frowned upon that you can also wear this if you don't want to mount it directly to your back. One such way is you can mount it up on your chest. This is called the bra method. It's not actually called that. I'm calling it that because I'm the only person who would think of it. Mount it up here, and your teammate's going to look at you, and he's going to be like, "Those look really heavy, ma'am. Can I hold those for you?" And you're going to be like, this is what Marines are going to do. This is why they don't issue it to the Marine Corps. This is why we all have M50s. They don't give us PAPR units. Because Marines will be like, "Oh, look at my look at my chest piece. Ooh, so nice." The alternative way to wear this is you set it down this way and you mount it down on your waist down here. And this is known as the man from Nantucket. Because back in the day, Marilyn Manson, allegedly, had his lower ribs removed. So he could do a certain thing. But the man from Nantucket could do it because his hose was just a bit longer. And now you know. Now, the real reason has come out. You can't hide it forever. Jokes aside, we're going to go ahead. We're going to pop this free. We're going to take off the belt. We're going to undo this bit of Velcro. And I'm going to run this off the buckle. Like so. I'm going to try not to lose any of these pieces because my room's a bit funky. And we're going to free this guy up. So you just sort of unweave this through here. Preferably through the back. Weave it through here. And our blower unit is free. Of course, if you do mount it, I gotta continue. If you do mount it on the chest one, you want to get some straps across the shoulders. It's the bra setup. It'll help with support and it'll keep you from getting back pain and having your filters sag. It's very, very tragic. You don't want it. So, on the plate carrier, I went ahead. I actually picked up the slick freaking back panel just to attach this to. So as you can see, it's just a relatively simple piece of material, BDS M81 naturally, and you can see where there's the little slots down here. And these two slots here is basically where the filters are going to go. And this is going to mount up under the filters, and it's attached by 2 bits of Velcro, and it's all just mounted in through the base of there. So I'm going to, I guess you guys are going to want to see this. I mean, it's a video, so I don't want to just talk about it. How's my floor look? It's a mess. Ignore that. Ignore that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to come down here. I'm going to put my hat on real quick. So we're going to set this up. This is going to chill right here. Well, that's where that Zaku went. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to pop this open right here. And both sides. And it'll look a lot like that. We're going to then set our filter up here. And this is going to kind of work kind of, there we go. That sets in there. Gonna mount that side first. It's not a perfect fit, I'll be honest. But it's a decently close fit. Oh dear, that's all messed up. Hold on. So when I get that under the filters, there we go. With that under the filters, we should have a relatively easy time. Literally no stress whatsoever. There we go. There we go. And then if you did it right, yours should look like that. And it gives us access to the switch, the filters are secure, the battery is accessible, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna throw this on. Actually, let me, remember when I said I had that Velcro on there? This is why. So we can undo that. We'll pop that free. And we're gonna effectively run you through here. Like so. Actually, this one might not be long enough. Huh, how did I get to work last time? Oh, right, because you know why? I got to work last time. Because I only ran it through part of here. And use that to connect this way. Yeah, more of that part, yeah. So that sets up like so. Then this guy is going to unwrap here. That's going to give me all the extra space I need to mount him up that way. All right. It's all coming together. It's all coming together. We're going to take our plate carrier. I'm going to throw that on. There's smarter ways to do it, but I'm not feeling it. All right. Let's fix our camera here real quick. Yup. All right. So we got our plate carrier kind of going. Go ahead and pop this free. Oh, that extra weight on the back. Fit you in through there. This is not a fast process. Fit you in. Come on. There. Mount you there. Mount you there. All right, cool. So plate carrier's on. And I've got a lot of filter up front because, like I said, we're going to basically like be bending it. Well, I'm not feeling that. Hold on. That don't feel quite right. We're going to just leave that alone for now. It's mounted on the back. That's the important part. If it's mounted on the back, it's good. As you can see, slings are going to kind of get in the way. They'll be A-okay. So, again, almost did it. Almost did it. We're going to mount you up. Get this screwed in here. And, of course, you're going to want to adjust this as you go to meet your needs. Maybe you're taller and you could get to work better. I'm going to mount mine up like that. Just slap this on. And it's not quite
it's not quite where I wanted. I think that back one's a little messed up. I should have just went with the front one. But we can always sort of run through that way. Alright, there we go. We're just going to keep it under the arm, out of the way. You'll see the sling's going to hit there. I should have adjusted the Velcro first. Anyway, we're going to make it work. Yeah, from down there's, I guess more from the front is the easiest, because you want to be able to look up and down, and that's breaking the seal. That's no bueno. This is off to the left is fine. Left, right, up, down. Okay, there you go. So this is optimal placement. We just want to adjust the parts over there, make it less of an issue. So with that, we're going to turn it on. We're going to... It helps to have a friend. I can't reach my switch. Oh, that's embarrassing. We'll use a dinosaur ruler. We'll make it work. I can't do it. I can't do it. Hold on. Oh, we're gonna get creative. There's the fitness, so we just wanna, come on. There's gotta be a way. Anyway, you can have your friend flip it on, because it's more or less inaccessible where it is. But it is there. It looks pretty nice. Okay, so you kind of get the idea. I want to turn it on and show you guys, but maybe I should have did that before I put the plate carrier on. I'm not super flexible, all right? With that going, we'll start it here. We'll get our old Kevlar going. We'll set that guy up here. Let's adjust that. There we go. And yeah, you can just run this in front of the hose. Click. And yeah, you're all ready. You're looking hardcore. You're ready to go. It's pretty neat. And view from behind. Not bad. Not bad. I like it. So, it's you can't turn it on, so if you bump something, it turns off. This sort of gets it off. That's unfortunate. I want to get the cool breathing, but I can't reach up that high. Oh, that's frustrating. There's gotta be something, man. There's gotta be something. I should be able to just hit the switch with that. I should just be able to bump it into something. Let me see. The filters, come on. Work with me. Work with me. I'll tie a string to it later, run the string up. We'll make it work. But yeah, so that's pretty much the idea.
Oh man. I can't reach it. It's in that part of my back. I can't reach. Maybe if I yeah, if I had a, this is why you don't go in alone. You always have a friend, and your friend will go ahead and turn that on for you. So I think all I really need to do is adjust the Velcro on the setup, and I think I can get this to work perfectly. But it's been a bit of an ordeal already. I think I just want that back one. I think I just want it a bit more forward, and this front one I should just be able to. Actually, let me try something. If we undo that, work with me. We just run this through here, and then we move it up a bit. This is all stuff you should do when you're not actively wearing the plate carrier. But yeah, there we go. That should give me. Yeah. I just want to run that a bit further back. So yeah, we want the hose to more or less go back. It's gonna like spring up back over here a bit, but we could make it work, and that's the important part. Anyway, let me pop this off real quick. Let me just do it this way. Let me just do it the right way real quick. Make my life a little easier. So it is a little heavy. It is a little cumbersome. There's a lot of things to bear in mind, but you kind of get the idea. So you back up like here, and that through here. I'm gonna adjust this later. Then when you want to get it free, you literally just undo the last few steps. Pop this guy. You're gonna turn on now. It's too late. It's done. Hey, we're gonna pop that free, and voila. So yeah, I'm thinking all I really gotta do is move this front one up to like the middle, and that will literally solve all of my problems. Because then it'll still sit more like so I had it like this, and we want it more like that. We want the slack in the back, and then we'll have enough hose up on the front with enough freedom of movement so that the hose comes straight back. We can look side to side. I was running it originally more like this, but I was having the seal pop when it wasn't at an angle like that. So I think this is our ultimate solution. Whew. And then when you're done, you just remember, I always like to put the same filter back in for like training purposes. So we just unscrew this guy. Take our orange cap or green cap. You do get a lot of these green caps. When you get it, it's like popped up here, it's here. You got two on the hose because it's not screwed into itself for integrity. And then this one just pops in upside down, opposite of that. And when you're done, don't leave the battery in there. It's not good to leave batteries just hanging out like that, even if it is a nickel metal hydride 4.8 VDC rechargeable battery pack C420. And then a bunch of warnings. We don't need those. And I'm keeping all this in my LBT M81 bag. So, anyway, that's the C420 PAPR. It is really cool looking, and You'll see them in all sorts of things in media and stuff, and they do make breathing easier. They take the weight off your face. And as long as you, if you rig it up to your plate carrier right, no problems. If you're running it on a belt, then I would recommend running some sort of chest rig, just anything with a, even a backpack. Mount the filters to a backpack, and then you can mount the Velcro to one of the straps. And you won't have the trouble of the hose hanging out and bopping you in the arm. And just sort of like mentally driving you crazy when you already got enough stress going on. If there's a toxic environment and, God forbid, malaligned actors also actively engaging in said environment. And depending on the chemical, it could be flammable. You don't want to be having like guns going off in that situation. It's a bad time. It's best to just not go into the hazardous environment. But if you're not going to go into a hazardous environment, you might be asking, well, gets a knife, I'm not going to go in. Why would I want all this stuff? And it's for the simple point that it is dripped out of its mind. And sometimes that's the only reason you need. So that's all I got for you guys. If you have any questions about it, anything I didn't cover in the video that you're interested in, I think I kind of covered it all. It's a fairly simple device that looks really cool and does fantastic things. Then feel free to comment down below. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if you're interested in picking up one of these. I think they're fantastic. It's a shame they don't work with the M50. I would imagine, I haven't been able to find anything, but I'd imagine the M50 has its own custom click-in adapter. I know the Air Boss is considered one of the really cool gas masks. I unfortunately do not have access to one at this time. Maybe someday in the future we'll figure it out. But that's all I have for you guys. Cheers, stay chivalrous, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Bye-bye.